was.
It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, he just started it. Are we good to go?
Yeah. Live from the Pines, your favorite East Texas sports podcast. Coming at you live tonight. It's our first night. It's our first time going live. We're missing our co-host David Griffin tonight. He's working late, he says. So it's just us three tonight. We got a little week 5 recap. Week 6 going into week 6 this week. Not as many games as catches your eye this week, but it's still
only one ranked matchup. I think, and it's what Mizzou A&M.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's some other catching games. There's some other interesting games, but yeah, in terms of that, I mean, going from Bama, Georgia, and last week to this, it's a letdown, but it's college football nonetheless.
Yeah, and we're gonna make the best of it. We wish David was here with us tonight, but before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to our guys at Zilker Belts. Use discount code Pines936 for all online orders for 25% off. Shout out to those guys for stepping in when we first started and taking care of us. We really appreciate it. How you guys doing tonight?
Kind of bad, to be honest, with the Astros losing this afternoon. But in terms of football, not too bad. Trey's got the jersey on. Makes me just think about it. But not too bad. It's Wednesday, about to be Thursday. And I'm actually going to the game this weekend. So
before we get started, we got a little technical issues going on real quick. Hold on. Carrot, what's wrong?
I'm trying to figure something out here.
What's going on?
I just checked.
Well, we'll just sit here
Instagram's
and
talk.
Instagram's
the only thing that's not going.
Is it? Okay.
Instagram's fine. We're live on X, though.
Instagram's the only.
Let's get the Instagram rolling. That's where everybody's at. Our man behind the scene, he's taking care of it. We got a little technical issue.
It's part of the process.
Alex Bregman just tweeted out, "Thanks, Houston." It's not.
He's gone. I mean,
the problem isn't the third baseman. I'll say that.
Better to create better leverages.
Yeah, they don't have a good replacement right now. Why would they? I mean, do they think he's going to get – they're going to have to pay way too much for him? Or, I mean, you're paying Ryan Presley. You're paying –
the last, 3 years. He had a really good second half last year.
He played pretty good second half this year. I mean –
I think the problem is we're going to have to pay too much to keep him and keep all the balance because you got to – I don't think Jordan's been paid. Hunter Brown's obviously going to have to be paid. Framber and Renell Blanco is going to have to get paid at some point. I don't know what their contracts look like. It's going to be tough. You couldn't keep the core together. They picked first without Tuve. The thing is, I'd rather pay Tucker over Bregman, and Tucker I think comes up after next year. So hopefully they extend him this year.
But Tucker always falls off during the playoffs. I mean,
we can
just do YouTube X. Instagram's fine.
We got 4 people on here.
Is the Instagram no-go?
I hate that.
Do it next time, I guess. What is it saying?
What's wrong with it?
I want to see if it does.
But yeah, it's disappointing. Bregman's probably one of my favorites.
Well, I mean, he has to say that at least. He's got to get the most money he can.
Yeah, I mean that.
Wait, hold on.
Money's guaranteed. So.
Okay, we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
hold on. I'm doing it right now. Okay, go.
All right.
Good.
Thank you, producer.
Everybody that didn't know,
Here we go.
All right, I'm out.
Shout out to our producer, Carrot. We really appreciate him. Give him a big round of applause. My man just got engaged.
The man behind the scenes.
Man behind the scenes. He does it all for us. But like we were saying, week 5 college football is behind us. We're rolling into week 6. A lot of good games last week. I know that everybody was looking forward to watching that Georgia-Alabama game. It was the game of the ages. It was the first time, Alabama's matched up with Georgia in years without Nick Saban out there, and I think he was in a box watching the game. Shout out to Bama. Shout out to Kalen DeBoer. That was amazing. One of the best games we got to watch, this season was last weekend.
Yeah, I think it lived up to the hype. At first, it looked like it was going to be a blowout, blow the doors off of them because it was, 28-0? And then Georgia made it a game in the second half. Kalen DeBoer he called a great game in the first half, but I know he was shitting bricks a little bit whenever they were coming back and scored that touchdown.
Yeah, that second half
game. That's another like Falcons 28-3 type deal. But they pulled it off, and Kirby just can't beat Bama. I don't know. I guess it's just a Bama thing, maybe not a Nick Saban thing.
Yeah, Kalen DeBoer and Alabama was right. The game plan for the first half was immaculate, to say the least. Georgia in the second half kind of had the same half almost. It was just ridiculous. But I don't think enough can be said about Kalen DeBoer, how he got Alabama to play. It was, just ridiculous. Kalen DeBoer, I just Googled it. He's 124-12 as a head coach in 9 seasons.
Yeah. I saw a crazy stat that he's like, let me look it up. You can keep talking about it. Versus top 25 teams, he's crazy good.
So he's unbeaten against Sark. He's beaten all of the top head coaches in the country. He's beaten Sark. He's beaten Kirby Smart. He's beaten Nick Saban. He's beaten everybody. It is ridiculous what his record is and how he is as a coach.
He's 12-2 against top 25 teams in his 4 seasons at Fresno State and Washington. So now he's 13-2.
Yeah,
unless they play somebody else this year. But
it's crazy. And this was, if you didn't know who Ryan Williams was before the game started, you know him now. Him and Jeremiah Smith. You have those kind of, once in every 4 or 5 years kind of talents that are coming around. And these 2 kids are doing it as freshmen. One's 17. He can't even drive with the podcast in the car. He can only have one passenger.
He's supposed to be playing on Friday Night Lights, not Saturday Night Lights. Playing Georgia.
I think I saw a quote from him. He was like, one of the Alabama beat writers was like, how are, you were touted or trying to ask him something about his high school. And it was like, oh, yeah, I was about to break every Alabama high school receiving.
He's from Mobile, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Hey, Aqua Bloom, Kalen DeBoer is from Washington, just to let you know.
He was the head coach at Washington. I think he was coaching high school football in like South Dakota.
Yeah.
Before he went to Fresno. And but Ryan Williams is a generational talent along with Jeremiah Smith. This week was both of their kind of coming – you can call it coming out parties. Everybody knew who Jeremiah Smith was coming in. He was the number 1 wide receiver recruit there was. And then Ryan Williams he
got some kind of NIL deal like this week or something.
Well, no, his NIL value went up. It went up basically like 2.5. His value was at like $700,000 according to On3.
That stuff's stupid. How they estimate it.
$1.5 million. Well, what they're basing it off of is what
followers and stuff
to come to your school.
Yeah, I bet it gets them in sticky situations, but that's another conversation. Like people expect they get paid that much.
These kids are lawyered. They're lawyered up. They have a great finance team around them probably. So it's going to take a idiotic move on his end for something to actually happen.
But Ryan Williams definitely got paid after Saturday. He definitely his market rate definitely went up.
Oh,
say that.
Absolutely. His next appearance isn't going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just every time he plays, they mention that he's 17 at least 10 times. It's crazy. But cooking, the best talent that you can go up against, Georgia, for 177 on 6 catches, and the longest one, 75 yards, coming on the game-winning or game-clinching drive, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Right when Georgia just scored to take the lead from
Did you
coming
see
back
that
from
catch?
28 points. Like
That catch was ridiculous.
the bobblehead was insane.
the move he made after it, where he like dead-legged, and then they ran into each other, and then he
The spin
spun.
move to lose both defenders. That catch on the sideline, he spun off the sideline, comes back into the field of play, spins his way out of two defenders, and then just outpaces them to the pylon.
I know I can't do that in real life, but even on the video game, NCAA, that ain't possible. You ain't moving like that.
I can't even move like that in my dreams.
Yeah, Braves just hit a home run. But yeah, like the kid has proven that no matter, he's 17, he's fresh out of high school, he's early grad, yada yada yada. Most kids his age are still playing JV and varsity football, but basically, this kid's playing with the best of the best. He's in the SEC, he's playing Georgia. These guys are 3 to 4 years older than him, and he is cooking.
Hey, Jacob Perez said it's snowing in Ryan Williams' dorm as we speak. I agree.
I got that.
Absolutely.
He's definitely having a good time.
I wonder how we can get these comments, how we can see them, but that's another time. But
Just like you did when you pull the pics up on Instagram.
no, but it said live viewer comments should show up on here, but we'll figure it out on the next one.
But okay, take us over to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, y'all ain't got nothing on Alabama, Georgia. We're good on that.
I mean,
Do you agree with Bama as the number one team in the nation off of that performance?
absolutely. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. You beat Georgia, who is a top 4 team. Michigan, at every week they prove not to be a top 10 team, but they just somehow win games.
Yeah.
And
they're winning.
so Texas, Alabama. I would say Texas, Ohio State are probably 1 and 2, just talent wise. Ohio State hasn't had a chance to play anybody yet. So it probably goes Alabama, Texas, Ohio State.
So if Texas beats Oklahoma next week by,
I don't think there's enough to leap Alabama.
Unless they just have a hangover or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Bama play this week?
They play – is it Vanderbilt? They play somebody that's like sneaky.
I think it's Vanderbilt.
They play
No,
Vandy.
it's Auburn. No, that's Georgia.
That's Georgia plays Auburn.
That's
They play
Georgia.
Vandy.
We're supposed to know this shit.
They play Vandy.
But, yeah. Y'all want to move on to Ole Miss, Kentucky?
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, so Ole Miss, Kentucky, I think they were –
Sorry, I was waiting for it to pull up. Texas does have the chance to maybe jump Alabama after next week because they play Georgia next week, not this coming week. Obviously, I mean, they have a bye week this week. They go into OU,
Oklahoma, then Georgia.
Red River rivalry, and then they play Georgia.
It's kind of a tongue twister.
But who does Bama play?
Not enough to be a 2-5 ranked matchup.
They play Vanderbilt this week and then South Carolina the next.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we can go to Ole Miss, Kentucky. I think Ole Miss is, at least 2 touchdowns favorite coming in. This is like their first real team they played this season. And, I mean, they just look completely flat. Jackson Dart did not look like how he's been looking. Lane Kiffin probably called one of his worst games of his career at Ole Miss. But, I mean, you got to give Kentucky credit. I mean, they held Georgia, what was it, 16, 17 a couple weeks ago? But
it was 13-12 in that game.
Yeah. So they're sneaky good, but I did not see this one coming.
Well, Kentucky, like we talked about it last week on the show, Kentucky is one of those teams. They're going to play great defense. They just somehow do it. They're going to play Georgia close every year. But Kentucky they did not have the start of the season that everybody expected them to have, I guess you could say. And, they dropped who'd they drop a big game to?
They got their tails whipped by South Carolina.
South Carolina beats them. And everybody starts like, okay, maybe this team is not, what
I thought it was over.
Yeah. And then you go play Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is a SEC contender. You know, it's factual. They're great
The
football.
playoff team are supposed to be.
Yeah, and you know, you lose to Kentucky, but does that really justify what you can do with the rest of the season? You know, it's a lot of different things like that you have to think about because another thing, to be honest with you, Ole Miss spent so much time in the portal this summer, and they have they put a team together that can go win a national championship.
Yeah, they have the talent up and down the roster. The thing is I can't remember who said it or what it was. It kind of felt like obviously Jackson Dart. I mean, what he still threw for 261 yards, 18 of 27 for a touchdown, but the play
They
calling
only
was
had 17 points, which is wild.
the play calling was bad, and everything just kind of felt off. Someone said that like Lane is kind of already checked out and ready to go to Gainesville, and maybe that's just my wishful thinking, but it kind of felt that way. It didn't feel like he was fully there. He called the right game, or usually, I mean, it's a Lane Kiffin offense. You expect them to be better than that, and they just fell flat. And so it was, I don't know. It was a very disappointing game by Ole Miss, and it was Lane Kiffin becoming his worst enemy. He called the kid a bitch at A&M that faked the injury.
Oh yeah.
And half of Ole Miss's defense and offense was laying down every 30 seconds with a
Well,
penalty.
did you see the video with Jackson Dart literally like tapped his running back on them and was like, "Go down."
Yeah.
Like, really, it's like no shame.
Yeah, there was none, and so it was a very disappointing game by Ole Miss, and Kentucky tried to give them the game at multiple points. Like, it was not great, and Mark Stoops. And all I come back to is Mark Stoops' teams are gritty. Like, it just is an ugly game. I think they're last in points per game in the SEC at this point, and but they somehow win. Like, they almost beat Georgia. They do beat Ole Miss, prove that they're kind of frauds, and they move on to next week.
Yeah, and like we were talking about last week, it's only weeks. We're only going into week 6. There's a lot of teams that still have a hard schedule left to play that can, make anything go any way this season.
Absolutely.
And you look at like, was that Louisville that got beat this week? Louisville was, a team you were thinking about maybe could sneak into the playoffs somehow. And
it's because of the 12-team playoff that it allows, some of these teams, like nobody's going to be. Not everybody's Texas. Not everybody's Alabama. Not everybody's Georgia. You're not going to come out clicking right away and come out and win your first 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it is. Obviously, Georgia played Alabama early, so that's different. And so it allows those teams to finish strong and figure out and fight their way into a playoff spot when you finish 10-2. Sometimes 9-3 if you play, a really hard schedule. But, like, I mean, even – I don't know if we're ready to talk about this game, but like Penn State, Illinois. Illinois was undefeated going in to play Penn State. Penn State's a top 10 team. They lose that game. For whatever reason, Penn State used that game as the whiteout, just for whatever. I mean,
Illinois is still a team that,
Exactly. I mean, if they finish strong in the Big Ten.
No,
they
can't do too much losing.
Exactly. Well, yeah, yes.
Like, Georgia dropping that game still does not define their season. They still can find their way until a national championship game.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
it might come out better for them because at the end of the day, there's 2 people in the SEC that are obviously better than them, Texas and Alabama, who are undefeated.
Yeah.
You can sit there and not have to play an SEC championship game and come up with almost the same record or same amount of losses.
Get an extra week's rest without
no
a game.
argument for you to stay out of the playoff.
Yeah. But on Ole Miss, like, I think we were kind of talking about it when we were talking about, like, comparing Ole Miss program to Florida. Like, this is their chance this year. This was kind of their shot. They don't have the roster, like the high school recruiting. They're going straight to the transfer portal. They're going to win right now.
They can
And
get
I know that their fans are, like, pretty – I mean, their season's not over. I'm not writing them off.
Would that
but-
one fan say Jackson Dart didn't have a suit on and he was like, what do you?
Oh
he said
yeah, what he wore to the pregame walkthrough or through the.
And then they
fans or
said that
whatever.
he was spotted at some steakhouse with his girlfriend. It was all kind of
Yeah,
allegations.
you can't quote the tweet on here because we're live, but it was it
That's
wasn't.
another thing. Ole Miss fans better not piss off Lane because he's a kind of like he would leave over that type of stuff. Like, don't give him a reason. Do not give him a reason.
Yeah, he's already been fired on a tarmac once. It doesn't matter. He's got no ill will towards anybody. If he's getting, you know what, he's gone.
Yeah.
You talk about Ole Miss. They still have to go to LSU. They have to play Oklahoma, and they have to play Georgia.
Yeah, it's still a lot of football left for them to play. Cole, what game do you have next?
I got Oklahoma Auburn.
That was a good game.
Oklahoma barely screeching out a W. I honestly thought Auburn had it in the bag.
That was a disgusting game.
So before we start, I didn't get to watch that game. Did Jackson Arnold play at all?
No.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
No, what's his name? Ran like a 50-yard running touchdown the first drive. Yeah, I don't think he's giving up that job anytime soon.
No.
But from what
Hawkins was the leading rusher for the game. So
from what I heard and what I read, I did not watch that game, but I heard a lot about like Oklahoma Auburn let that game get out of their hands.
Yeah, they threw
Oklahoma scored 17 in the fourth to win it.
So,
yeah, and Peyton Thorne threw a pick six to give up the lead with like 3 minutes left.
Okay, so from what y'all saw this week, we're going into week 6. Oklahoma has a lot of SEC football left to play. Is Oklahoma can we go ahead and cross them off our board?
In terms of what, a playoff team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not a playoff team.
So
no, absolutely not.
They should have lost.
Texas next week, and this is Texas. This is their first real match in the SEC. I know it's Texas.
Oh, they talking about Oklahoma.
No, this is Texas's first real match in the SEC, and it really doesn't. If you beat Oklahoma, by 14, it doesn't really say a lot. I know people are very high on Oklahoma's defense, but Oklahoma is still a team that is, they got beat by Tennessee, barely beat Auburn. They scraped by who they scraped by about 2 weeks ago. Was it Tulane?
Yeah, I think so.
Tulane, barely scraped by Tulane. Is this really a big game we're going to see next week?
I mean, it's a rivalry game, so you never know. But I mean, I'd be shocked if Oklahoma wins. But I feel like it's going to be closer than
a ball game.
It's a rivalry game, so you never know. I mean, they're going to come out and do it. I mean, but yeah, I'd be shocked if they pulled it out because Oklahoma, their defense is really solid to good, but their offense is just really struggling. But
Oklahoma,
they have
where they play Texas too.
I saw their injury report. They have top receivers are all out or 4.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You said Oklahoma plays who before they play?
Well, they have an off week just like Texas does.
Yeah,
they both have off week.
Yeah, they're both on bye weeks.
So that I can't remember minus last year because Texas beat the dog out of them, and
last year.
Yeah.
Oklahoma won.
Sorry, the year before last, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because Dylan Gabriel beat him last year. I had no years and stuff.
Yeah, they let him walk.
All of my Red River rivalries are kind of blurry. I've been in the state fair as they played every year, and
You were drinking. You weren't.
Yeah, we were in a beer garden. So
you were drinking.
But OU's schedule coming in is not great.
No,
they get to play Texas. South Carolina comes at home. They go to Ole Miss.
I bet you South Carolina beats them at home.
They play Maine, so it doesn't really matter. But then they have to go to Missouri. They play Alabama at home. And then
LSU.
Can you imagine Alabama playing in Norman? That's something.
So Reed's trying to get me to go to that game. Me and my dad, and I kind of really want to go, even though it's going to be a terrible game for Oklahoma, but it's going to be a great game to go to.
Snag me a ticket, Pods.
We might.
So,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
were you saying, Cole?
I'm gonna say, and them going to Baton Rouge is kind of just like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome. But it's
Baton
weird.
Rouge. Have they ever played in Baton Rouge?
You would think so, but I can't remember.
In the real Death Valley. Shout out our boy Manny.
Oh yeah. The real.
We were all wrong about Clemson. They're
Well,
offense kind of
Clemson's
good.
Clemson's played. It hasn't played a team that is out athletic or out bullied them since Georgia, and they've bullied and out athletic to everybody that they've played since.
Their
Clemson
offense does look kind of good though.
it's your. Did Manny said they got one player out of the portal?
They got
Zero.
I thought they got one.
No, they got one
Yeah.
last year. I think
That was last year. So
Yeah,
like,
it was like them, Army, and some other
all
academy.
the
Were the only,
service schools that can't possibly transfer.
listen, if
Army, Navy, Air Force.
if Dabo
And
wins
In their
this-
bylaws, take a transfer, and then Clemson. They didn't because
if Dabo
Dabo trusts in the Lord as he does his recruiting.
if Dabo wins the ACC this year, does that show people that I don't have to go to the portal to win my conference?
No, what it shows is if you go to the portal and recruit well, you win a national championship.
yeah, if he went to the portal, he would be competing for.
Well, Ole Miss just got beat by Kentucky.
He's going to, if they win the ACC, which Miami, granted, they didn't look great against Virginia Tech. We'll get to that game, but they're going to play Miami in the ACC championship game.
Actually, let's
There's
hope
really not another team. Hold on. There's really not another team that looks that good in the ACC other than those two. And they'll, at this point, the way the Miami looked last week, have a chance. I don't think they have the same kind of secondary as Virginia Tech did. Those corners at secondary or at Virginia Tech are very good.
you can't
But-
forget Tyron Jones either.
But if Clemson just recruited someone out of the transfer portal, like they would be up there with the Alabamas, they would be up there with the Georgias, they would be up there with the Texases, and it's all Dabo's fault.
Yeah, but you can't say it like the new era of football. They are not Clemson football, but you gotta realize.
You can't be with the way the transfer portal works.
But you also gotta realize.
Manny talked about it a few episodes ago. Like their retention on their recruiting classes is bar none probably the best in the country. Like no one transfers out of Clemson.
There's a reason. There's a reason.
There is because Dabo
Once he gets them in there,
makes you feel great. He's a hell of a recruiter. He gets the good guys. Granted, they have some trouble recruiting wide receivers. They haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since like 2020. But like they are a really good recruiting school. The problem is you can fill those holes that you don't recruit well in, say, a wide receiver, say a secondary right now. Like if they had Caleb Downs, it'd be a whole different team. And when you fill those holes in the transfer portal that those guys are good, I mean, the sky's the limit. And you can't just rest your laurels on the guys you bring out of high school because some guys develop better than others. And you just have the game is turning to a way. There's a reason that Nick Saban retired because he doesn't want to keep recruiting the same kids that he's recruiting because he's always trying to recruit the new kids.
So what you just said, does Dabo, does he have to change or is he going to stay in his ways or is he going to walk out?
I mean, he can stay competing for the ACC if he wants, or if he wants to win a title or compete for that, he's going to have to change.
Yeah, Dabo's got enough leash. He can do probably whatever he wants to do for the next, 6 years, probably. Yeah. I mean, he won a national title. He had, two great quarterbacks and the guy who likes to get weird in massages and Trevor Lawrence. And so, they were great football teams. But that was the old college football. With the way
it's a new era of college football. Everything's different. Look at UNLV.
Exactly. So all he has to do, he doesn't really have to change his ways. He just kind of has to adapt. And that's what made Nick Saban. He adapted. Like you look at that, Mark Ingram, AJ McCarron offense and what that team looked like in 2012 when they played Colt McCoy compared to when, last year with Jalen Milroe.
You hired Lane Kiffin.
Change your ways. And he did it, and that's why he was successful. If Dabo can just compensate a little bit, give in just a little bit,
He's not going to do it, though.
there's not even a debate. Clemson would walk through the SEC, walk straight into the playoff with a bye, and
ACC.
I said
Yeah, I was about to say.
my dyslexia. Sorry, and it wouldn't be a conversation.
Y'all want to go to the next game?
Go to the Miami.
Next game I got is A&M beating Arkansas 21-17.
I thought we were going to say that for last, Pods.
What other game we got?
Miami.
No, let's talk about it.
Penn State. Who they play?
That's what I got wrote down. We can do that after. It's
All
not-
right,
it's okay.
yeah. We're good. We're working down a list.
Yeah, we're rolling. This is our first live. A&M versus Arkansas beats them 21-17 in Jerry World. Pretty ugly game, to be honest.
I thought it was great.
I mean, it was great when the clock went 0. For the second and third quarter, I was pulling my hair out because our offense couldn't move the damn ball. But, I mean, story of the year, Arkansas kind of lost the game. They turned over the ball 3 times. Taylor Green, he had his moments, but he just very turnover the ball prone. He had a pick and a fumble on the game. He could have game-winning drive, had a fumble to lose the game. But the Aggies pulled it out. Marcel Reed looked iffy in the past game for the most part in his 4th start. But I honestly thought Arkansas was going to be able to run for a lot more yards. Jaquin Jackson was like the SEC leading rusher, and he only had like 37 yards. So, but a win's a win. On to the next week. But y'all got any thoughts on it?
I honestly didn't watch the game. And where was that? Where did we go last weekend? What did we know? I mean, where were we at last weekend?
Last weekend or the
We went to
weekend?
dinner on
before?
the Diamond. Okay, I was in Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't watch the game, but I did listen to a podcast right
I would
after.
say the weekend before last.
Yeah,
We're the Texas game.
yeah, Texas game. But
We would go see our friend Mandy.
I didn't watch much of the game last week, but from what I heard Marcel Reed, he looked like a true freshman, and I heard Arkansas did not look like the offense they normally have looked like. And like I said earlier, the first show we did this year, college football, like Texas A&M's defense is a standout defense. When they want to be, they have one of the best defensive lines in the country. They always have one of the best defensive lines. It's just something that Texas A&M produces. They produce defensive linemen. They always got a guy on the outside going in the first couple rounds. So, they're going to play physical. They're going to play defense. But, like, if you can stop the run game against Arkansas, you pretty much beat Arkansas. If you can keep him in the pocket and keep him from getting to use his legs, you pretty much beat them because they're basically a one-dimensional team when you think about it. Now, they do have a great running back over there, and I was surprised not to see Quinn Jackson.
He had 37 yards, but he only got 10 touches. I don't know why they didn't give him
I
the
don't
ball.
understand that. And especially knowing Bobby P, he's going to put the ball in his best guy's hands. But
I mean, Taylor Green threw the ball 41 times.
He threw it for 279 yards. Like he
Threw it
got
41
some
times.
yards. Yeah, he threw it 41 times.
Yeah, he got yards.
And
but
ran it 13 times for 6 yards.
A&M's defense won that game.
You got to have some
Yeah, no doubt.
max numbers in there for 6 yards.
Yeah, sacks, but
But
yeah, I mean it was basically
So,
our
Cole, say y'all
D-line.
You had a wide receiver cutting him up, 5 catches for 120 yards.
Yeah, he had a 75-yarder on the 3rd play of the game.
Cole,
Good
say if y'all do beat Missouri, what's that do for y'all season?
I mean, it changes the perspective on it. I think right now most people are just thinking about the Notre Dame game, how we came out flat and lost that one. I think if we win this one versus a top 10 team, even though Missouri isn't looking the best, but they're undefeated, I think it kind of changed the national perspective and kind of keeps the season going and maybe have a
perspective
for A&M.
beating Arkansas.
No, we're talking about if they beat Missouri.
Oh, well, okay, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Although Mizzou's not that great.
I know, but I'm saying most people just remember the Notre Dame game. If we
Yes.
beat Missouri, a top 10 team, people will be like, okay, well, maybe they're not that bad. Or,
No,
and I mean, our schedule. What are you saying?
I thought if y'all were playing primetime It might be
No,
different.
it's
but you
freaking
play
11 o'clock.
That's
It's on ABC, but they scheduled that before the year was started. I don't know why they did that. But, I mean, with our schedule, if we beat Missouri, I mean, we can make a little run. I mean, you never know with slip-ups in the SEC like that. But, I mean, I think it's kind of – it's a big swing game for the season. I mean, if you win it
there's an outside shot at the playoff if you win that game.
if we win the game.
I
Because
can see it. I mean, y'all have that game. You have
You gotta
LSU
play
at home.
Texas still. You gotta play LSU.
They play
LSU does
LSU
not
at
look
home.
great.
LSU. They have to play LSU at home, and then they finish the year at Texas. If they win one of the games between Missouri and LSU,
We play Missouri, then we got a bye week, then we play Mississippi State, LSU at home, at South Carolina, New Mexico, Auburn, and then Texas. So, I mean,
There's still hope. There's still some hope out there.
If y'all win one of the two games between LSU and Missouri, that Texas game, first of all, is going to be the most watched college football game of the year, probably.
I just hope our offense continues to
It'll
improve.
be a primetime game.
No, Rutgers
No, be serious.
versus who they beat on that field goal last week. We watched it. Who was it?
Let's not bring Rutgers up into this.
But
Yeah, I mean, if we beat Missouri, that opens up a lot of chances. But our offense has to play better.
as it sits right now, A&M's the top of the SEC because they're
Yeah, I mean, we're doing our SEC. Stop the count. But but yeah, what's the other game y'all got? That right now.
Arizona, Utah. Utah drops the game to Arizona, and I think that does a lot for the college football predictions and the guys out there with the odds and everything, because that basically puts Utah out the door. Utah's gone. They're not a factor anymore. You lose to Arizona, you're gone.
not really.
They were undefeated, right? Were they undefeated?
They lost one game. If they still win the Big 12,
They're not going to win the Big 12.
Well, I mean,
You can't say that definitely.
There's not much to talk about that game except for who they could possibly play in the Big 12 championship game, which is probably.
I know what game we're talking about.
So are you just don't like Colorado hasn't showed you anything?
No.
Trey,
No.
you can't admit they look a lot better than you thought. 4-1. You thought they'd be 4-1?
No.
I told you. We talked about it this summer. I told you.
They won four games. They won 4 games last year. They won 4 games last year. They're not play. I mean, they're
They
not
won
like.
a Hail Mary against Baylor, and Baylor's about to fire David Aranda.
If Virginia
But then they
Tech,
beat the-
Virginia Tech catches that Hail Mary, we're not talking about that shit.
Did they catch it?
Did Colorado catch it?
Yes, that's why we're talking about it.
Exactly. They won the game.
They're
And then they
not
beat
that good.
they were like 14, 16-point underdogs to UCF. And they went in there and whooped them around. So,
They have KJ Jefferson as a quarterback.
I mean, they might beat y'all this week.
No, they're gonna beat Florida.
They're favored by 2.5.
That's a good bet to go ahead and lock in.
Not even lock it in. It won't even be close.
Big Billy Napier guy.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about
We need to talk about Kansas State, Oklahoma State, because
That's
you're
what I was
talking
gonna
about Big 12 and who's going to win it. Avery Johnson is a way better college quarterback than Shedeur Sanders is.
you are such a hater.
No.
You are such a hater.
No.
You cannot admit, dude, he's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He might be the best quarterback in college football.
No. He's up there now. I'll give him that. He's up there.
Yes, he's top 3 for sure.
Okay, name 2 that are better than him, and I'll name.
All right.
them.
Avery Johnson is 9
Jalen
TDs
Milroy.
and 4 picks.
Huh?
879 yards.
Okay.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Carson Beck.
You can't
No.
name any other quarterbacks that are better than him.
No.
Really?
Nico, maybe.
Definitely.
Cam Ward, negative.
Okay.
Nah.
Cam Ward's hurt, and he's probably definitely better because he's like 30 years
I don't
old.
know. If you put Shedeur on Miami, you think there's a drop off? I don't think so.
You put Shedeur on any team in the ACC that's
Right,
relevant.
you said Avery Johnson's better quarterback, right? He's through for which he has a run game.
He's
threw
he's
for
a better
880, 9 touchdowns, and 4 picks. Shadour's thrown for 1,600 yards, 14 TDs, and 3 picks.
Numbers
so
don't lie.
if you caught what I said there, I said a better college quarterback. So Shadur is a passing quarterback, which is helpful in the NFL. That's why he will be stretched and get drafted early and probably go top 10, which is very stupid.
Why do you think that?
Why?
What makes you think that? What does he got to show you to make him like prove that he is one of the best quarterbacks in college football?
Not
Like,
play for his dad.
Oh my God.
Not have arguably the best player in college football as a wide receiver.
Oh my God.
And just as a prayer, throw it up to him or have him, cause a fumble to win that game. Or
So let me ask you this: have they exceeded your expectations so far?
has he exceeded my expectations?
Has Colorado or Shadur? I mean, they've exceeded mine. I mean, I'll admit it.
Shadur, no, because he wasn't even on my radar and I didn't think about it.
Dude, you're just a freaking hater.
We talked about it preseason,
Hey,
so you
second of
can't.
all, Colorado has exceeded my expectations as far as they win, but they haven't yet because they haven't won 6 yet. So
And guess what? They play K-State next week.
yeah, and
Dude, they play. Listen.
It will
shut up,
not
listen.
be close.
Listen, they play
It's
K-State.
not gonna be close.
They play Arizona. They play
Hey,
Cincinnati.
look at how K-State just handled
They're
Oklahoma
going
State.
to beat Texas Tech. They might beat Utah. They might beat Kansas. And they might beat Oklahoma State.
I mean, I think they can beat anybody on their schedule, but
Okay,
their defense is a little suspect.
give me a second. We'll pick up this conversation. But
Okay, what's another game?
I got you. Let's go Notre Dame, Louisville.
What was the score?
31-24. Notre Dame wins. Beats a ranked opponent. Notre Dame has looked like shit the last couple of weeks. But
I mean, they beat what's the name like 38-7 the other day, but I mean, they don't play a lot of people.
And yeah, Notre Dame is just one of those teams that, if they would have never lost that Northern Illinois game, they'd
be top 5.
they'd be in the top 5. It's just part of it. It's just how it is. It's how it's always going to be. They're not going to join a conference. They're going to stay independent, and they're going to have their little spurts every year where they go 10-1.
I mean, they're going to be 10-1 going into
10-2.
USC. They got
11-1.
USC for the last game.
And then, another game, not much to talk about Notre Dame. Really don't give a shit about Notre Dame. I'm just glad they beat A&M. But we're going to go over to Iowa State. Iowa State's a true contender. You cannot mark Iowa State off. I was reading something earlier on my way to work. I was listening to podcasts on my way to work, and they were breaking it down. Iowa State is not a team to sleep on in the Big 12. Okay, here we go.
I just came back.
Why Iowa State? What is it?
I peed and I came back, and you said Iowa State is a team.
Is a contender.
What?
They have a chance to win the Big 12.
Dude,
Are they undefeated?
they're 4-0, but no.
They beat Iowa. They beat North Dakota State.
They beat Houston
Arkansas
last
State.
week, 20
They
to
beat
nothing. Houston
But
is
Trey, look at their schedule. Who do they play?
okay.
They play West Virginia. They play
There's a
UCF.
difference in
They
having a
might lose.
schedule and being a contender.
Dude,
They might lose
they
Baylor
might
next
win
week.
out.
Kentucky is a contender.
They might win out.
Iowa State.
No, they got to play Utah and Kansas
How much
State.
you want to bet that they win out?
I'll bet you.
I'll bet you.
What are we taking?
Whatever you want.
They go undefeated?
Yeah.
I'll bet you $200.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not betting you 200.
I'll
I
bet
gotta
you
bet
$100.
you too.
Huh?
I bet you 50 apiece.
All right.
Locked in.
All right, that's no take backs. We got it live.
Oh
Yeah,
We
my
got
God.
30 witnesses. You just picked Iowa State to go 12-0.
Why not?
You know they got to play Utah and Kansas State to finish the year.
Who gives a shit?
And whoever in the Big 12 championship game. If they go
Arizona just beat Utah.
yeah,
I'm not too worried about Utah.
Where's their quarterback? Dylan is it Fertitta? Isn't that it?
Tillman Fertitta?
Yeah.
No, I said Tillman Fertitta. I don't know who this quarterback is.
Or it's I think it starts with a T. It's not Dylan. Is it Dylan?
Hey,
Hold on.
another team that I'm not sold on, and I don't know why everybody's behind them. Oregon. I'm not sold
You
on
not
Oregon.
sold on Oregon?
No.
But you're sold on Iowa State.
Their offensive line the week before last, and it was I mean, they're a different team. Dylan Gabriel's a winner. They've got one of the best receiving corps in the country.
I don't know. I'm not sold on Oregon. I don't think they can.
I don't think they have to play anybody. Do they have to play? Do they play?
They got to play UCLA, Michigan State, then Ohio State. Then they got to play Purdue, Illinois, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, Washington.
Yeah, that's the game.
I mean, I picked them to win the Big Ten. At first, it was looking a little shaky. They're starting to get right, though. I mean,
yeah, their offensive line through the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks was not great, and they switched it around a little bit, and they are looking right.
I don't know. I'm not sold on them.
they play Ohio State at home in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Let's hop over to week 6. This new slate this week.
Wait, did we talk about?
Illinois.
So last week, DJU broke his finger.
I forgot about your boy.
And then we didn't talk about the Miami Virginia Tech game really at all.
It was we were at the Lufkin game track.
Thursday, Friday.
It got closer and closer, so we left, and we got it on for the last few minutes. It was a great football game. It's what college
you thought he caught it.
I did think he caught it.
I don't know about that,
dude. It was, if you look at it up close, if you call that a touchdown, that is such a hard call to overturn.
I am surprised they overturned it, but I see what they saw in the overturn.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, Virginia Tech.
I thought they were gonna.
I wanted Miami to lose. Like, yeah, I did. But Miami, I'm not really like sold on them like I was the first couple of weeks, like the way they looked last week, because Clemson, like we said, looks really good, and Clemson could possibly beat this Miami team in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, I definitely see it.
So, like, I don't know.
About the ACC after Oregon. I don't know how I missed that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then we talked about Penn State, Illinois. We need to talk about Ashton Jeanty. Sorry. I mean,
we already talked about that, I thought.
No, I didn't.
He's a freak.
I mean, through 5 weeks, or was it 5 weeks, 4 weeks college football?
5 weeks.
5, yeah. But I think they had a bye week, to be honest. They've only played 4 games.
Yeah. So we have week 0 and then 4 weeks of football. Week 4. I don't even know. I think it's week. But this is going into week 5.
They played 4 games.
Yes. Going into week 5. 4 games through the season. Ashton Jeanty should win the Heisman.
Yes, no doubt about it. He's averaging 10 yards a carry.
You being the big Colorado homer that you are, I figured the guy who's played.
He's averaging 10 yards a carry.
84 million snaps should win it.
He's averaging 10 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's only played 3.5 games.
That's my road to glory now.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. They pulled him at halftime versus one of the games.
Yeah, and he had 120 and a half.
Yeah. I mean, he has 845 yards, 13 TDs, and he's averaging 10.3 a carry.
Yeah, it is. And Boise State is. I mean,
have y'all watched any of their games yet?
Yes. I watched their game against
I've seen highlights.
Before I forget about this, does James Madison get in the playoffs?
Well, the thing is,
they're the highest seed group of 5.
UNLV's up there.
Texas State's gone.
Army Navy's got to be in the conversation.
How did Texas State blow that game?
I don't know. They were up like 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Hey,
they were up large.
Sam's got the athletes from Beast, Texas.
You don't even believe that.
I don't know how they lost that one.
I mean, Sam Houston has been one of the better FCS teams. Are they in the? Are they?
They're D1 now.
D1 now.
Yeah. Sure.
But they were pretty good in the FCS.
Yeah, I mean it's
or D2.
Well, that's enough for week 5. Cole, get us over to week 6.
Okay, we're gonna make our game picks.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get them rolling.
All right. Well, the only ranked matchup for the season is A&M, Texas A&M versus Missouri, 11 o'clock at Kyle Field. A&M is favored by 2.5 as we speak. The line has moved a little bit though. It's gone down to 1, gone down to 2, but it's in at 2.5 right now. What do y'all got? unless you want me to go first.
You start us off. It's your team.
Yep.
I mean, you know what I'm gonna pick, but I'm gonna go with the Aggies minus 2.5 at home. I think it's gonna be a great game. I think the way Missouri has looked the past couple games, they got a bye week before this game, which kind of helps them out the way they were looking. I mean, they went to 2 or 3 overtimes with Vanderbilt and won by a field goal. When Vanderbilt missed a field goal, and they came back to beat Boston College by a touchdown. They were down at halftime. So, Jalen, why are you commenting that? And then Trey did.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be a great game. Luther Burden does scare me though, because with our we've had the tendency to have receivers have big games against us, and he lines up with the nickel, and we've had some trouble there. But I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm gonna be there Saturday. Wish it was a little later, not 11 o'clock, but I got the Aggies winning close by. I mean, we got to score more than 21, so I'm gonna say like 28-24. But it's gonna be a close game. Offense got to show up.
Jalen.
So I haven't watched Missouri a lot this year, but I've heard a lot of things about them. I hear that, they're not as striking. They're not the team that everybody thought they were going to be. And, they're still undefeated. They're ranked number 9 in the country. They're going to College Station on a Saturday, 11 o'clock game. It's going to be rowdy. Boys are going to be hammered early. They're going to be partying. It's going to be loud. But you said it's 2.5?
Right now it's 2.5, yeah.
I got to take Missouri. That's just it's not it's not enough points on the board, and it's going to be a 20. I'm gonna say 28-13 ball game, and it's nothing against the Aggies. I just don't think A&M's offense is in a position to, move the ball against Missouri's defense, and it's if A&M had a quarterback, it'd be a better game. But from what I've seen with Marcel Reed and these, he looked great against Florida, but is that saying much? Florida's not anything at all. And it's nothing against you, Pods. It's just the truth. And you understand that.
No, they suck. Look, if they were any better, they'd be terrible.
My thing is also was, from another thing I'm seeing, I just don't think, A&M can move the ball. So give me Missouri. I've been against the Aggies all year this year. I was wrong last week, but
You're wrong week before that.
I was wrong week before that, but I'm gonna ride with Missouri this week.
Yeah, I
Put you down.
The head coach from Missouri said if the quarterback at Missouri was single, he'd hook him up with his daughter. So
The quarterback,
you didn't see that?
the quarterback from Missouri.
The head coach at Missouri said if the quarterback was single, he'd hook him up with a 17-year-old daughter.
yeah, his last name is Drinkowitz, and he was
He's a little
probably
weird.
a bit of that before he said it.
He said what?
His last name is Drinkowitz. That's what I was saying. But I mean, Missouri played Florida last year with everybody healthy and Florida being Florida, and they won on a field goal because they converted a 4th and 26. Something stupid.
Lee said A&M needs to put Bussy at quarterback.
Not.
They need to give him the ball more. I agree with that.
He does need to get the ball more. But
I mean, he switched to receiver 2 weeks before the season, so he's still learning a lot. But they need to give him the ball more.
But I mean, A&M's defense is really good. Brady Cook and Luther Burden are the highlights of Missouri. Missouri's defense is, I don't know, and it's probably.
That's where have they faced offense really?
I mean, they played Murray State, Buffalo, Boston.
They
College.
gave up what to Vandy? 30?
They gave up 27 to Vanderbilt. That's the most points they've given up all year, and they won 27-30. And so I have a feeling it'll probably be close to that game against A&M because A&M's defense is better than anything that obviously Vanderbilt has. but their offense is not. Dylan Pavia is a lot better than Marcel Reed, and so that's why I'll take Missouri. I mean, give me the 2.5 points. Missouri probably wins by a touchdown, and A&M is trash.
We beat y'all by.
But
we beat your ass, Trey.
That game could go either way. So I'm sticking with Missouri. I think it's gonna go the way.
I mean, if you say it's Florida, but the 2 weeks that Marcel has been struggling, he's just hitting his passes accurately, open, and it's just I think it's because people are stacking the box, they're making him beat him over with his arm, and I mean it's his fourth start. I mean, he's having a little trouble with it, but if he shows up and hits a couple big throws, I mean, we'll see.
So a quarterback that can't throw the ball is good?
Where did I say that was good? I said if the Florida Marcel that hit a couple deep shots shows up, I think we have a chance.
Again, that a better Florida team against against Missouri, lost to them by a field goal, and it's Missouri. Missouri's going to win this game.
Sorry, you picked against the Eggs.
All right, what game we got
I
next?
had to.
That's fair. I got.
Let's go
Louisville.
Louisville SMU.
Why?
I don't have the spread for that one. I didn't.
SMU just beat the shit out of Florida State last week.
That's Florida State.
Louisville's ranked.
Well, since Trey wants to talk, let's go Florida UCF.
What's the spread at?
Let me double check that Florida is not the favorite in this because that's crazy.
So they opened up as the favorite -2.5, and it has since switched to UCF -2.5.
Yeah, UCF -2.5.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to our show. What was that 3-4 weeks ago? Chris Phillips said if they lose to UCF, Billy Napier will be out of there by Monday. So
I don't
must
totally
win.
agree with that. I think I said that.
I don't either. I think they're kind of waiting a little bit, but
Because his buyout dropped tremendously in January, right?
I think
only
it's,
about a couple million, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
by February 1, it dropped by $9 million.
That's a lot of fucking money.
But where are they playing at? They playing at UCF? No, they're playing in the Swamp. Y'all still doing the 2 QB system shit?
Carrot, and I'm just trying to answer this because I don't want to talk about how bad Florida is.
We can go quick.
I would definitely take Miami and
Versus Cal? Yeah, I would take that.
Cam Ward over 300 passing yards because Cal stinks. Anyway,
So,
about Florida?
I'm actually going to go – man, can I pick the Gators?
You don't trust Gus Malzahn and KJ Jefferson?
No, I don't.
Two people who should have been out of college football in 2017.
They
Lee said
got their ass whooped by-
Florida's trash.
They are. But
Well, look,
He's a Notre Dame fan.
hey, so are his haircuts.
I need one of those bad boys.
I don't know. I think Billy and the boys are going to find a way to win.
You're
I'm gonna
nuts.
I'm going to go Florida plus 2.5. Yeah, I mean, they could technically lose, but Florida plus 2.5.
Give me UCF.
Smart bet. Smart bet.
I don't know why I picked Florida.
Because you're an idiot.
Because I just don't see that happening.
It won't.
UCF just got their tail whipped by Colorado.
This will show you the difference.
Are you comparing Colorado and Florida to like?
No, I'm not.
That's
But
what
they
it
got,
sounds like.
Look,
they got beat by what? 3 touchdowns?
I will hang my reputation on it. I will hang it.
You're going to let UCF come in the Swamp.
Florida handles UCF.
Okay.
Handles them. What did UCF beat them by? I mean, what did Colorado beat UCF by?
48-21.
Cash it. 27-2.
All
They
right.
beat him by 27? You can just say they just win. It's a close game.
No,
But I do think they need to stop that 2 QB system. shit.
absolutely. It's ridiculous.
All right. Let's roll over to Auburn and Georgia.
All right. Okay, so we are picking that one. Georgia is favored by a big 24 points versus Auburn, coming off a disappointing loss versus the Tide, the biggest game of the year. Auburn coming off a gut-wrenching loss to go, 2-4? I'm obviously going to go minus 24 Georgia after they just lost to Bama. I think they're just going to come out and try to annihilate them and try to take out their anger on the Tigers. I don't even know where they're playing at. Don't care. Minus 24, the Dogs.
They're playing in Georgia.
It's even worse.
I'm gonna take Auburn. 24
Not to win, though, right? Plus
No.
24?
24 points is a lot of points on the board, and Georgia does not score a lot of points. And
They just scored 30-something versus Bama.
yeah, they're not gonna score. They're not gonna beat.
They
Auburn by
scored
24.
33 and a half.
They're not gonna beat Auburn by 24 points.
Okay.
So give me Auburn.
Oh,
Okay.
And I hate Hugh Freeze now. I'm not picking for him. So, you going Auburn?
I'm taking Auburn.
Big Peyton
War
Thorne.
damn Eagle.
I've got Peyton Thorne throwing at least 2 picks. Trey, what you going with?
I'm going with Lee doesn't know what he's talking about, and Georgia minus 24 and whatever.
All right. Then we got
Ole Miss,
Florida
South
State.
Carolina. Okay.
Florida State versus Clemson. Clemson is favored by 14 and a half.
I'll take that and run. It'll
Yeah.
probably be up to 16, 17 by the time it kicks.
Where are they playing at? I don't know why I'm asking.
Playing in
Does it matter?
playing in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it don't matter. I'm going Clemson minus 14 and a half. Their offenses look
Everybody's gonna go Clemson on this one, Pods.
pretty good since they got their ass whipped by Georgia. You got shut out. But yeah, minus 14 and a half.
So Lee wants us to do Notre Dame. Who does Notre Dame even play
Hey,
this week?
tell Lee Notre Dame. I don't even think plays this week.
Yeah, I don't even think Notre Dame.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
He's cutting hair tomorrow though, so that's all he's worried about.
Where y'all see these comments at?
I
Instagram.
saw him on
Live.
Twitter.
Let's look at the Ole Miss South Carolina game. Games in South Carolina.
So everybody's minus 14 and a half.
Yeah, where y'all want Clemson?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, just getting down. All right, where you going to go next?
Let's go. South Carolina.
Ole Miss.
South Carolina.
Ole Miss is favored by 9 points. Does anybody know where they're playing?
They're playing in South
Ole
Carolina.
Miss?
We just got 2 different answers there, so I'm going to check.
No, he was
who are we
asking
talking
what game
about?
it
Sorry,
was.
I was asking who we're talking about.
Yeah, Ole Miss.
They're playing in South Carolina, right? That's
Yeah, Ole Miss plays in South Carolina.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Woo.
Ole Miss minus.
What's the spread at?
9 points.
Give me Ole Miss. I'm going with the Rebels. They just got their ass kicked last week by Kentucky.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin's about to switch some stuff up, and he's going to win a ball game.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin has been pretty quiet on the Twitter sphere, X sphere, whatever you want to call it, since that ass whooping.
Because he's ready to go to Florida.
I think he unloads on him. Pause. Beats him pretty handily. Ole Miss minus 9.
He saves that for sorority girls at Ole Miss.
No comment. Jalen, who you got?
What game are we talking about?
Lock in. Ole Miss versus South Carolina.
I said I wanted Ole Miss. Give me the Rebels.
Pause.
Oh, Trey. Mama.
Y'all both pick Ole Miss?
Yeah. So you're going.
You be different.
Yeah, I'm going to be different. Give me the over at 53 and a half.
That's
No,
not,
you gotta
that's not a
take-
choice.
God dang it. Why? Why is it not a choice? It's right there on the E ESPN.
It doesn't line up with everybody else.
We do game picks, spread picks. You can put that as your favorite bet or something, but
Yeah, give me Ole Miss minus 9.
I'm about to say get cute, take South Carolina. I was thinking about it, but
I can't.
all right.
I would wrong shot of Mad Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, he's gonna go crazy. So we got Arkansas versus Tennessee. The Vols are favored by 13 points,
Oh, good God. I can only imagine. That over's probably 70.
and they are playing in Fayetteville.
Oh, it's only 58.5.
Yeah.
I guess Tennessee's front four is going to cause Arkansas some havoc.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee minus 13 for sure. I think Arkansas probably keeps it close in the first half.
You can go across the board on that one again.
I think Arkansas keeps it close in the first half, but they start turning the ball over like they have been this year. And Tennessee beats them by 14 or 18 points.
Yeah, this is another one where I want the over.
We're not doing that. It's
So
not Burger King.
I just want to go on record and say I want the over here.
It's
And
not Burger King.
but I will take Tennessee minus 13.
Yeah, give me Tennessee also. How many picks we got?
Y'all can pick one. I got Miami, Cal, or Oregon versus Michigan State.
Let's look at. I'll be looking at.
Let's check out another one.
What about Vandy and Alabama?
Let me look at all of the FBS teams.
Are you
Michigan
serious?
State, Oregon.
Sam Houston versus UTEP.
Who?
Exactly.
Miami's only favored by 10 points versus Cal.
Give me Miami.
Give me Miami.
Yeah.
Boston
No.
College, Virginia. Virginia minus 1.
Nobody gives a shit about what's going on in Virginia or Boston College.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got enough picks.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hey, Ohio State and Iowa.
What's the
Ohio
spread?
State minus 20.5. The over-under is 44.5.
I'm taking the under.
It's only 44.
Points.
44.5.
I'm taking the over on that one.
Iowa might score 7 points. They might.
I would. I mean, I haven't watched a couple games, but they don't have it.
Put that in there as a bet. I'm taking Iowa plus 20.5.
Iowa doesn't have the normal Iowa offense this year, right? They kind of throw it a little bit.
They have a damn good running back, is what they have.
I mean, I haven't watched the game. I'm not gonna lie, but all right, y'all want to do our Heisman picks real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all. Who y'all got winning the Heisman now?
We're gonna do our top 3.
Ashton Genty. By
It's- That's kind of straightforward. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It should go. Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter. At this point, Jalen Milroe.
Top 3.
He just.
I'll end it at 3. I could go to 4 and 5, but we'll end it there. Yeah.
So you got Genty,
Genty,
Milroe, and
Milroe.
okay. What about you, Jalen?
We're doing it in order, or are we just doing 3?
I mean, you can do your favorite right now.
I'm not doing. We're doing it in order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do your favorite.
I want Gentry. I want. Give me Trav, and then give me Shadur. I was gonna say Milroe, but Trey's already said it. I ain't gonna do it.
Okay. I mean, off stats, you can pick Genty, but Milroe just had a huge game in the biggest game of the year. He's undefeated. He's balling this year. I mean, do we really think they're going to give it to Genty unless Boise State just runs the table?
That random dude off Instagram thinks Jalen Milroe's not even a quarterback.
That dude's stupid. I was about to say something else, but that dude's stupid. So I got Milroe, number 1 right now, coming off that big win. And then I got Travis Hunter in 2nd. And then I got Ashton Genty in 3rd. And I think, I mean, Hunter's been balling, man. I mean, he's got at least 100 a game in receiving yards. And he's balling on defense, playing
See
both
that
sides.
play he made last week on defense? That
Yeah.
was freaking nuts. It's really a boring week in college football.
This
Yeah,
is the
dude.
week though where shit goes weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be close games people don't think of. Just like
Yeah, that's what I'm
always.
saying. But it's like you look at it, it's really a boring ass week.
This is the week like Vanderbilt will play Alabama close.
Carrot said he's got Johnny. He does not play anymore.
something weird like that. And then, like, this is the week where DJU isn't playing and Clemson and Florida State play close or something.
Okay, I mean, we didn't talk about this, but what is one game that you would have like an upset watch? Not saying you're picking them, but that you'd keep eye on for someone to have a hangover or someone to beat somebody.
South Carolina.
North Carolina, half of that
Ole Miss, South Carolina.
didn't even have a.
Yeah. Or you can even say SMU.
Are they favored?
No.
We could do like college game day and pick our Wonder Dogs.
What is that? Just like big upsets?
Big upsets, and if they cover, you win, I guess.
All right, since Jalen picked South Carolina, I'm going to go Arkansas.
There ain't no way in hell.
There's a way if Bobby P gets cooking.
Honestly, there is.
And they're at home. It's kind of like a do-or-die game for Sam Pittman. I mean, I'm not saying it's over if he loses.
Bowling Green is minus 15 at Akron.
Well, them dudes lost to Old Dominion after doing that. That's crazy.
I could take Iowa plus 20.5, or I could take Vanderbilt plus like 20 or something.
Hey, everybody in the live, make sure to subscribe, follow all of our accounts, like all that good stuff. Because
All right, boys, y'all ready to wrap it up?
Hold on. Give me. Where'd it go?
so I got Arkansas.
Where did it go?
Jalen's got South Carolina. You got to pick somebody different.
Give me Vanderbilt plus 23.
There ain't no way in hell.
They're playing Bama.
Yep.
There's a
Vanderbilt.
way. I mean, Bama could come off that high being a little.
Dude, there's no way Vanderbilt goes and beats.
He said plus 23. He didn't say win, but
It's plus. All they got to do is cover.
Oh, we're taking the spreads?
either or. I mean,
Yeah, the Wonder Dogs.
Okay. I'll stick with my bet.
I was saying Arkansas with a chance to fucking win, but I don't think they do. Anything else y'all want to talk about in the college football world?
Anybody in the live got any questions? Got anything they want to talk about before we get out of here?
Check your Twitters. They might have something there. You can only see who's watching your retweets.
I don't know where y'all seen all these other comments.
All right, we're getting out of here. It's 10 o'clock. Again, thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It was our first time going live. We appreciate everybody. If you haven't yet, go like us on Facebook, Instagram. Go follow us. Go follow us on TikTok. It's Live from the Pines. Follow us, YouTube, Live from the Pines. So like, subscribe, help us out. We're trying to get this thing rolling. It's college football season. We ain't got much longer. It's rolling by. So, we're taking advantage of every moment we got. And it's going to be a sad day when this ends again. And we have to wait again and wait again and wait again. It's almost that time.
Yeah, watch our baseball podcast that we'll put out in the next few days.
Yeah, a little baseball coming at you live.
Yeah.
Astros got beat tonight. I know the boys are kind of sad over there, but
A little bit.
the Braves are
What are the Braves?
Braves are losing right now, 5-2.
Mm.
Top of the eighth, runner on first. But like we said again, thank you everybody. We'll see y'all later.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
I don't know what to do.
In line.
In stream.